All right, back to the long-awaited "What if Goku landed in the Naruto world?" Part 8. I think this is Part 8, right? All right, so we're gonna get straight to it. Long overdue. Be sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, all that. Somebody asked about donations a while back. That's my Cash App right there. All right, we're gonna get straight to it. Last time, what happened last time? Y'all know what it is. Naruto was training with Jiraiya. Kakashi was training with Sasuke, and Goku decided to take Sakura under his wing as a pupil. He began to train her on how to fight. All right, and Haku began to train her on how to use subterfuge, and that type of deal. Uh, Haku revealed to Neji how he lost to Naruto about the whole Nine Tails thing and gave him a book on Jinchuriki, which completely blew Neji's mind, and Hazashi never told him the truth about his father. So this has warped Neji's mind from the canon universe. All right, the war is about to start. Orochimaru's coup is about to start. Kabuto went ahead and put people to sleep. It's then revealed that Goku is completely unaffected by Genjutsu, considering the fact that he doesn't have any chakra. All right, and it could have something to do with his physiology, but we don't really know. More on that later. Anyway, when Orochimaru was about to have his, I would say 1v1 with Sarutobi, but he kind of brought some people to the party. So anyway, Goku and Haku ended up joining in on this endeavor. So now it's Orochimaru versus Sarutobi, Goku, and Haku. And that's where we left off last time. Let's get straight to it, man. Alright, here we go. So Orochimaru is surprised, doing what he always do. And he's like, well, looks like we have visitors. Alright. Staring down Goku and Haku, which he had heard about through his spies. Alright. Sarutobi is actually frustrated with them joining in on the endeavor because he doesn't want his students to get hurt, knowing how dangerous of an opponent Orochimaru is, his former student. All right, so they eye each other. It's about to go down. They about to fight. By the way, this is like 200 slides, so this is going to be long probably. All right, they eyeing each other. That's when they start to bust a move. All right. They get in close. Sarutobi ain't what he used to be. He's a little old, so he's he's losing the fade. He gets kicked to the back. All right, leaving Orochimaru gloating. This is when Goku charges in. Orochimaru prepares for the charge and unleashes a volley of snakes from his mouth, which all head right towards Goku with their fangs extended. All right, but to Orochimaru's surprise and bewilderment, Goku himself decides to bite the snakes before he gets bit. Eat or be eaten. So he goes in for the bite of his own on the snakes. Like he's famous for doing multiple times. And while Orochimaru is like, what the hell is wrong with this kid? Haku goes in for his assassination. But Orochimaru deflects it by pulling out his own sword. I believe, what was it, the grass sword? More on that later. Pulls out the grass sword and deflects all the Senbon that Haku has sent his direction. And Orochimaru is like, my, the Leaf Village sure having stronger pupils these days. Actually impressed by these little shorties. But he says, well, why don't we even the playing field? And then this is when he does the Ito Tensei, the reanimation jutsu. All right, when he begins to lift them up. All right, lift up the first, second. I believe it was fourth, but I got a video on. I can do a video on that too because that was a weird situation. But Hiruzen predicts it, and he seals off the last coffin. But in this instance, because because Goku and Haku are with him, Goku goes in for a charge, destroying the other coffin. All right, which gives Hiruzen time to seal the second coffin as well. So now it's left with one. All right, because he smashed the coffin. Orochimaru retaliates after Goku stomp by punching him right in the face, sending him flying back. All right, the coffin opens, which reveals Tobirama Senju. All right, as we know, the second Hokage. Goku's just perplexed, like, who is this, and why is there a dead guy in front of us? Haku, however, being reading up on the history of the Leaf Village, recognizes this dude immediately as the second Hokage. All right, the feared Tobirama. And this brings nervousness to Hiruzen as well. Like, oh man, it really is him. You know, Tobirama steps out, hit him with the long time no see. You know, that's before he gets completely controlled by the shuriken that he puts in the back of his head. You know, because remember they had their own cognitive functions before that. You know, and you know the whole Gaara and Naruto thing still going on. I'm actually going to touch on that in a separate video probably because it'll be too long as it is. So they're chasing after Sasuke to help him against Gaara. And back to the fight. So in this canon, Tobirama was the only one that was revived. All right, which levels out the playing field a little bit because I just didn't think Tobirama and Hashirama, or I don't think Goku and Haku would have been able to take on Tobirama and Hashirama even in their nerf state. So I didn't want to bring both of them there. And as well as that, you know, and remember Tobirama and Hashirama are nerfed for somebody that might be trying to clickety clack and be like, they couldn't, you know, remember this is the nerf form, so just go with it. But anyway, so it's just Tobirama and Orochimaru versus the trio. And this is when Orochimaru says, I'm gonna send Tobirama to deal with your little kitties, your kiddos. All right, being Goku and Haku. Haku tells Goku to be on guard. This is one of the strongest ninjas that's ever lived. And Tobirama begins to go on pursuit. All right, meanwhile, Orochimaru and Hiruzen say, all right, I believe it's time we finish this. All right, and they begin to send volleys of snakes and shuriken at each other, as well as when Hiruzen used those tiles and sent them at him as well. And they're doing their own little clash of jutsus. And this is when Tobirama decides to change the terrain and uses the water wave jutsu. All right. It's about to get a lot more damp in here. So he uses that. Goku and Haku are on guard, knowing this is going to be probably the strongest fight they've ever had in their lives. He sends the water waves, submerging pretty much the whole rooftop in water. But that's only the beginning, because then he launches his water-style water dragon missile, sending them at the duo. Goku surprised by the water dragon, knowing that Zabuza had a similar technique, but nowhere near as fast. But Goku being as reflexive as ever, dodges the water dragon. But it's at this point where Haku is like, Goku, you fool. All right, because turns out that Tobirama sent more than just one dragon. Tobirama sent 3 dragons, 3 water dragon missiles, which head straight towards Goku. And since he's in the air, he has no room to dodge the second one. And he's overcome by the dragon, consumed and drugged under the water. All right. The last dragon is headed towards Haku's direction. And Haku responds by throwing up a couple ice shields, a couple ice mirrors. The water dragon collides with the ice mirrors, completely shattering them, leaving nothing but shards of ice and water in the air. Haku decides to take matters into his own hands and try to even the playing field. Since he wanted to make the place aquatic, he's going to make it misty. And that's where he uses the jutsu that his sensei Zabuza had taught him, which is the hidden mist jutsu. All right, the water style hidden mist jutsu, making it hard to be seen. Tobirama recognizes this as, yes, you know, this is the This is the hidden miss jutsu, you know. And at this witch, Tobirama is surrounded by of course, the reflections of Haku. Haku thinks he has him defeated, so he gets ready to make his own attack. Tobirama still looks bewildered that he's within the hidden miss jutsu. Haku's like, time to make a move, but little does Haku know of the speed and perception of Tobirama. So when Haku's about to make his move, he doesn't know that Tobirama already knows which mirror is Haku. So Tobirama heads straight towards Haku with his sword extended, ready to go in for the kill. Haku can't really dodge this attack, understanding that he's been made. And it's at this point Goku sends a retaliation from being submerged in the water by throwing some explosive tags that he had gotten. All right, wrapped in the tiles of the rooftop on the Konoha Hokage headquarters. All right, so he put some explosive tags on the tiles, sent them upward, back towards Tobirama, throwing him back, and the tags wrap on him and they detonate. You know, seeming to completely engulf Tobirama in the explosion. All right, so they believe, you know, they did the job. You know, meanwhile, due to the hidden mist that Haku had already created, that's when Goku starts to feel a weird sensation. It's as if he's absorbing or breathing in the chakra-like miasma of the fog that was produced by the hidden mist jutsu. It's like he's breathing it in, as if he's temporarily gaining chakra into his body. All right, but only temporarily, you know, as he already feels it beginning to dissipate. Seeming like chakra-based environmental attacks can actually absorb into Goku's system. More on that later. So he's beginning to absorb the chakra that Haku produced. Meanwhile, Tobirama comes back, completely regenerated from the explosion, and as stoic as ever. Goku and Haku prepare for their next attack. That's where we get back to Orochimaru and Hiruzen still facing off, fighting each other. And that's when Hiruzen goes with a fire-style Fire Dragon Flame Bomb, sending it hurling towards Orochimaru's direction. Alright, Orochimaru puts up a snake wall, but it was all a diversion because he bites his finger. Hiruzen bites his finger, puts it on the ground, does the summoning jutsu, and brings forth Monkey King Emma. You know, very underrated summon, by the way. Which annoys Orochimaru to his core because everything is not going his way. He's already at a disadvantage because Hashirama did not get to present himself. And now that aggravating ape, Monkey King Emma, is now on the field. So he's aggravated in general. Alright, that's when Hiruzen gets Monkey King to turn into a staff form. I forgot what the bow staff form is called. And they begin to duel once again. Going for the power pole extend type attack. Orochimaru narrowly dodges. Lines up for a counter thrust. And they begin to go back and forth with the blade. Clashing with each other. Sparks are flying. And as they're clashing, Hiruzen can see in Orochimaru the frustration and anger. Because he's understanding that he's on the back foot unless he can get Tobirama to kill those kids. Because of all his purposes, he's outnumbered. But he's not too worried because at the end of the day, they're just Genin level kids to his understanding. You know, at the most, Haku would be a chunin in his eyes. You know, but Hiruzen picks up on that and begins to taunt him. By the which he tells him to shut up, pushes him off. That's where we cue back to the explosion that had taken place earlier after Goku's explosive tag incident. Alright, the explosion begins to dissipate, revealing a seemingly unscathed Tobirama. Alright, still staring at him, water droplets flying up. And that's when he begins to use the water-style water bullets, sending them in both of their directions, mainly Goku's, understanding that he's the power hitter. By the which Goku begins to dodge the water bullet jutsus, but it was all a diversion as Tobirama goes in for once again a fatal strike, charging at him at high speed. He sees an opening. He goes in for a fatal blow, but is interrupted by Haku once again. And as he gets hit in his kneecap by the flying Senbon, Goku grabs him by his foot, much like Hashirama. No, much like Sarutobi did in the canon. He grabs him by his foot and gives him with his standard dragon throw, sending him backward and into his own water. And it's at this point where Hashirama comes up with his own idea and says, I'm going to level the playing field. And he uses a shadow clone jutsu, bringing an extra copy of himself. Now it's 2-on-2. And, of course, Sasuke is still going against Temari and them. More on that later. Goku asks Haku if he's got a plan, because this dude seems to just regenerate from anything they throw at him. So Goku's wondering if Haku's got a plan. And Haku does have a plan. He says, okay, we can't kill him, but what if we can incapacitate him? What if I can pin him to the ground? All right. So he can regenerate, but if I pin him to the ground, he'll be stuck. All right. Then we can aid Hiruzen. So that's Haku's plan. Goku says, sounds like a plan to me. All right. So going back, they're like ready to break. Gets into the mirror. Tobirama goes in for a full assault. At this switch, Goku's like, all right, this looks like I got to do my secret technique that I've been working on. It's a prototype. He begins to power up, and an image of Rock Lee pops up in his mind, where he's like, thanks, Lee. You inspired me to do this. And that's where he begins to charge up and says, all right, here it goes. Powering up. And it's revealed that he has learned something like the 8 gates, which is, of course, the Kaioken, where he says, Kaioken, open. Because you remember how Lee said, what, 4th gate open? He says open, basing it off of his attack. So he goes into the Kaioken. Powering up, fury of energy flying through that he really doesn't understand. He doesn't have understanding of ki very much. And he didn't even know if this would work, but he'd been working on it for a little bit. Fully going into the transformation and activating the Kaioken. By the which he then charges straight at Tobirama. Now matching him in speed, if not triumphing him in speed. And leads a very powerful axe blow to the back of his head, sending him down. And while he's about to regenerate, Haku steps in and begins to pin him down with a volley of Senbon. All right, pinning him down. So that's 1 down. But in the process of Tobirama going down, he spits some of the Senbon back at Haku, catching him totally off guard and incapacitating him as well. All right, hitting him in his arm and leg on one side. Now it's just one Tobirama versus one amped Goku in the Kaioken stage. So they go blow to blow, dodge in there, dodge here, dodge there. Tobirama is still super fast, dodging Goku's attacks. They're clashing. But unfortunately for Goku, while Tobirama just keeps his stamina, Goku's is waning. His Kaioken's already flashing in and out since he hasn't really perfected it at all. Plus, he has no understanding of ki control, so it's very more taxing on his body than even the canon Kaioken. Basically, knocking him out the fight. To where the point where he collapses. So it's looking like Tobirama Tobirama can just go ahead and kill them and aid Orochimaru. Alright, as he looks down at Goku, about to give him the finishing blow. And it's at this point that Haku remembers what Goku told him. Haku remembers what Goku told him, which was that he felt a sensation as if he had absorbed the mist that Haku had produced. Alright, as if there was chakra in his body. Haku begins to remember that, and that's where he does his final attempt at winning this battle, because he remembers long ago that Goku told him that he can't look at the moon or bad things happen. That's what Conan told him a long time ago when he was a child, and they have a flashback. Conan tells Goku that, and that's when Haku takes his plan into measure due to Goku absorbing the chakra, starts forming hand signs, and uses a mist moon genjutsu, which Goku gets enraptured in because now he has chakra in his body, which now reveals that Goku can be affected by genjutsu if he's absorbed chakra. Alright, and through this moon mist jutsu, Goku looks up, where it's not even really there, but he looks up to see a moon in front of him. As we all know, Haku, remembering that, wonders what's about to happen, but thinking it's a last ditch attempt, because either he does this or they're dead. Goku looks up at the imaginary moon in his mind, much like he did in GT when he looked at the moon, and that's when he begins to transform into the giant Ozaru. All right. And at this point, Orochimaru's attention is grabbed, like, wait, what is happening? Seeing the boy transform. The gate, the barrier that the Sound 4 had put up, begins to get crowded with some massive figure as Goku begins to transform, until the point where the top of the barrier itself shatters, by the which Orochimaru is completely perplexed, but doesn't have time to dwell on it, because he's like, is this some type of jutsu I don't know? And Hiruzen is in high alert as well. They don't know what's coming next. Tobirama and Haku are also staring on, looking on, going, wondering what's about to happen. And that's when the mighty Ozaru comes to full form, towering down at all the people looking up on him. Haku is like, the leaf had another Jubi, or another tailed beast this whole time? And Hiruzen's like, that's no tailed beast. And then, taking precautions into his own hands, he begins to say, well, no matter. And he begins to do his own summoning jutsu, where he summons Manda. Alright, so now we got the Battle of the Giants. He sends Manda after them. They begin to entangle with each other, fighting back to back. Hiruzen is looking at him, sees the barrier open, but it's only the top part of the barrier that's open, that was shattered. The rest is still there. He sees the barrier open, saying, we can't let him get out, or the leaf can be in even more danger than it is. So he begins to stare down, having flashbacks of the nine-tailed fox demon. Meanwhile, Manda and the Ozaru Goku are fighting each other back to back, going to blows. Manda's losing. And this is when Tobirama uses his Genjutsu, Infinite Darkness Jutsu. It says Goku temporarily still has chakra. This Genjutsu is effective on him as well. So now he's shrouded in darkness, by which Orochimaru takes full advantage of this and tells Manda to wrap himself around the Ozaru ape, which he does as the ape is shrouded in darkness. Now he's wrapped up with Manda, the serpent, which enrages Ozaru Goku as he begins to be tangled up in the scales of the serpent. Alright, and it's at this point where Hiruzen Sarutobi is like, we have to defeat this thing before he can get out of this box, or we're all dead. And that's where he takes Monkey King Ima, extends him, hits him with the bow staff right on top of the head, leaving a devastating blow. And while Goku Ozaru form is wrapped up, he's still able to use his tail, which he uses to smack Sarutobi right in the face, sending him right into the barrier, incapacitated. It's at this point where Goku grabs Orochimaru from off of Manda's head and begins to crush him. Alright, damn near breaking every bone in Orochimaru's body. Alright, he throws him to the wayside. Orochimaru falls down defeated. Hiruzen tells Haku that if he has any plan, now's the time, or they're all dead. Tobirama's still incapacitated. The clone is dissipated. And Monkey King Emma has been stepped on by the Ozaru. So everybody's out for the count. Haku stares at the face of a wounded Ozaru who's bleeding from the head after getting smacked by Tobirama, or by Hiruzen. And it's at this point where Monkey King Emma is in possession of Orochimaru's sword. He lifts it up and tells Haku wherever he's got to do it. Alright. And Orochimaru is basically petrified, like, is this how we're all gonna lose? Alright, Haku picking up the sword, takes it, picking up the grass sword, takes it, hops into the remainders of his mirrors, and heads straight for the tail of Goku. Goku Ozaru form is looking at the mirrors. He sees the reflections of Haku. It's at this point where, in complete desperation while being wrapped up, Goku sends a mouth blast flying at his mirrors, destroying them. Alright, people thinking Haku's dead, but he only destroyed a reflection, and the remaining mirror reveals Haku still holding the grass sword, by which he cuts off Goku's tail, sending him back to his human form and completely incapacitated. It's at this point Haku's completely out of stamina and he falls down too, so everybody's on life alert. Orochimaru looks down, wondering how could his plans have gone so wrong, not understanding the wrench of Goku and Haku, two kids at that point. It's at that point where he says, this is where we call off the plan. Ascend forward, dissipate the barrier, pick up Orochimaru and dip. But Orochimaru in his battered, broken body is interested in Goku and tells Kidomaru to use one of his arms to grab the severed tail as they jump away. And he's like, maybe there's someone else other than Sasuke as well that I should have my interest in having. You know, I don't know how we're going to get rid of Tobirama. We could say that Orochimaru caught off the jutsu, or we could say that, I was looking up how to get rid of it, and it said, a less viable though equally effective method is to have the reincarnated soul be affected in some emotional way that gives them closure, allowing their soul to break free of the Imperial World Reincarnation's influence. So we can say that happened if y'all want. And it's at this point where Tobirama says, we caused you trouble. They give the speech to him. All members in the Leaf Village are a part of me, but it's just Tobirama speaking because Hashirama's not there. All members of the Leaf Village are a part of me. The villagers believe in me, and I believe in everyone. That's what the Hokage is. Saru, protect those who love the village and believe in you, and bring them up as individuals to whom you can leave the next era. Alright. As Tobirama looks down at him. And it's at this point, while they give him that last speech before his departure, or before Tobirama's departure, Haku actually heard the speech being uttered. And then he dissipates, going back to the spirit world. And it's at this point where a party joins Hiruzen and the unconscious boys. Sarutobi's on one knee, completely exhausted. Monkey King Emma dissipated, but beforehand telling Hiruzen that he thinks he knows what energy Goku was emitting, which was key. More on that later. Haku has Hiruzen has a epiphany that perhaps he has one more student to train. All right, one more Sanin. Hint, hint. All right. The boys lie completely unconscious, out of energy, tanked. And Hiruzen begins to relay to them what had just occurred. And Hiruzen thinks about what the hell is Goku and what was that monster he turned into. Could this be a natural born Jinchuriki? Alright. But then he thinks that he helped save the village. And he thinks back once again. He thinks he needs one more student. And that one more student is going to be Goku. But that'll be the next time. Sakura comes in, having their team defeating Gaara. You know, I could do a small video on that if y'all want, on what happened there. You know, because Sakura was a little more help in this instance because of her training with Goku, but not by much. If y'all want to see that, y'all can put in the comments. Alright, that's where they find an injured Goku. They begin to talk to him. You won't believe what happened. They're about to tell him what happened in the forest with the whole Gaara incident and all that. Goku's listening. Kakashi's watching over Haku, wondering what happened, wanting to ask Haku a first-hand account of what happened after hearing what Hiruzen said. And it's at this point where Goku's like, oh man, I gotta check up on Haku. Runs towards him. You know, so they rendezvous. You know, and then as they're walking out of the hospital, they're greeted by chants because they're viewed as heroes, much like how Goku was against Pain. I mean, much like how Naruto was against Pain. They're viewed as heroes. You know, so they walk into cheers. So they're, you know, oh yeah, here we go, the people that saved the Hokage. And Goku's just surprised, like, why are we getting so much praise? Didn't everybody fight? Completely confused, not really caring about the accolades. But Haku, on the other hand, is totally surprised and begins to blush at the people that are happy about them and praising them. And then that's where he remembers the things that Tobirama was telling Hiruzen before he departed. We said, sorry, protect those who love the village and believe in you. And that's when Haku realizes that he's not going to die for Zabuza anymore. He's going to die for the Hidden Leaf. You know, which is going to play a huge part later on because it's going to affect his Will of Fire complex. But later on, Hiruzen approaches Goku and says, how would you like to be my final student? Alright, which Goku is, of course, enamored by it and like, of course. But Haku himself was approached by someone as well, and it wasn't Hiruzen, but Danzo. Alright, and with that, we're finished here. I'm finished. Hope you guys liked it. You know, my talking probably wasn't the best, but, you know, that's what I got. Alright, so we're going to end off with Hiruzen wanting to train Goku, and Danzo wanting to train Haku. Alright. Hopefully you guys liked it, enjoyed it. Once again, be sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. You know, and if you guys want to donate, you don't have to. You can just hit that like button. But if you do, my Cash App is Terry the Great 97. All right? And all I got to say after that is peace.